Relax your brains to understand what's written, and you see a total liberation of your life. Huh? It starts in the small units, in the houses. The Christians have the same old price. We were discussing the Bhakti Vriksha, actually what you're doing, the counseling of the Bhakti Vriksha. A weekly gathering, you know. The Christians have the same thing. When they, in India now where I am, in Vijayawada, last 20 years I lived there, in Tirupati, Vijayawada, 40% is Christian now. Because the Indians keep too quiet. It's not good. So, anyway, whomever is there, but cow killers propaganda is not good, of course. But worshipping God is good. Why they have developed so fastly? Because they have a formula of house programs. Very strong, dynamic, systematic training programs in the house. It's called G12. There's a group of 12, you train for 1 or 2 years with specific lessons, so they get the whole lifestyle together. And then the best of them, they start another group. And like this, you can, like cells, they multiply similarly. G12. So they say, when the house becomes a better place, no? It becomes a Vaikuntha. And this house is not in Ireland. This is domain between these four walls. This Prabhupada says this is not the material world. This is Vaikuntha. And you can feel it. Yeah? Close your eyes for a second. It's not the dry vibration of the city. Yeah? The lonely vibrations of the modern cities is horrible. Right? This is Vaikuntha. So if the house is a better place, and then when the house is a better place, you need also bigger places for festivals, then the temple becomes a better place. And if the temple is a better place, or the church is a better place, then the society becomes better. So what you're doing here is extremely important. And it's not just a social gathering once in a week, so relaxing from the tensions of the week, it has to become much more. Yeah? It's a question of a total revival of the Vedic culture all over the world. And it said the Indian community also has a special prerogative because it's in your heart by nature, it's in your blood, how to cooperate with people, how to be kind to people, how to be patient with people, how to bring people together, how to protect the family unit. The most surviving units of family is in India, in the cultural families. Of course, that is now also broken down by the world bankers and the multinationals. We will talk on this. We brought a book, Spiritual Economics, you should read that. It's eye-opening and removing all the romantic, sentimental ideas we have about modern leaderships. I mean, totally on top. Right? So this revolution will start from the houses. Yeah? You ready for revolution or just relaxing time? It's no time to relax. It's time for a viplava, a spiritual revolution. And it will be, Prabhupada said, a very beautiful revolution, but the biggest revolution ever in the history of humanity. A total revolution of consciousness. Based on which book? Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Which book? Why? What is it? Why? It's a Hindu book.
It's directly spoken by the Lord Himself.
So any real, honest person who has love for God, he has to bow down for Bhagavad Gita. Any country and religion. That is honesty. Otherwise you're working, and scratchy things we get. Right? Even no proper water and no proper food. Right? Yes or no? Yes. It's called, one of the presentation we gave is a culture or economics of abundance, is the Vedic culture based on agriculture, cow protection. This is the real economics versus an economy, question mark, of scarcity and poverty. That is the modern situation of where we only have iron and plastic and no good water and no good food and no holiday. in agricultural economics, where you're healthy, wealthy, wise, how much holiday you have? No. That's 8 months. Maybe someplace. At least 4 months. When? Chaturmas, rainy season. That's for introspection. Now in the modern city you're gonna not get much time for introspection. Come on, follow my donkey system, multinational. Become a consuming robot, buy this, buy that, be in this position, work for it, give all your energy, 16 hours a day! And you can do your puja 5 days, 5 minutes a day, we don't mind. How did, right? Yes or yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to check you whether you really catch the points through the presentations. Now we're gonna work for that then. Is it not? It's not a question of something Indian or Hindu type, it is normal human civilization. Veda means knowledge, is it not?
Yes.
And we have to show it. Right? But all the success comes through, you need good cooperation, skills and mood, and that comes, nothing can revive that more than very wonderful bhajan and kirtan. Yeah? So we start that a little bit. Somebody can play Mridanga. Jayo Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Yes,
Hare Krishna,
branch, and then also the Global Village Initiative. It's only the last years that it is really getting activation, but it's growing very fastly. Right, all the self-sufficient communities, and also Radhanath Swami is really pushing it. Bhakti Vikas Maharaj in South India, Salem, Hyderabad, and we are doing in Tirupati, Vijayawada. We have each 100 acres, 130 acres, and there are many families ready, but we have still some more groundwork to do with courses. And Prabhupada said we should start immediately Varnashram and Dharma College, and this will be the future education of the world also. Teaching Varna and Ashram is not there today, so the whole social thing is a mess. And there is no spiritual life almost, just scratchy sparks here and there. So this is a small beginning, and that will be courses will be reset up, where you learn, of course, the vision and philosophical background, but also practicals. How you build your own house, how you take care of cows, how you do organic farming, how you make your own clothes, without being shy to do all these things ourselves. And the whole idea is that we have to escape the paper money terrorism. Maybe for some of you it will not be new. So we are working on this very seriously, and it's based on this book, Spiritual Economics. Maybe some of you will know this. Lessons from the Bhagavad Gita on spiritual economics, and understanding the economic problem and solving the economic problem. By the senior preacher of Radhanath Swami, he said is a masterpiece on the subject. Even many professors of business management, I send out some summaries of the book and they're immediately interested. Many people know what's wrong with the stock market and world bankers, how they simply only have one interest is get everybody work like mad, make profit for them, and you get scratched and then suck you out and throw you out. And there is no other plan. Sorry, breaking all the dreams. But this is the reality. You want to hear reality or you want to keep on dreaming? Right? If you want reality, read this book. It goes behind the dynamics of economics. It's a 20 years research work. It's a reference to economics scientists, to great Erich Fromm. He's one of the senior disciples of Freud. So he analyzed all the world powers. And they are more in control than ever. Much more than the communists ever did. Much more than Hitler ever did, but you don't realize. So we start with reading Prabhupada's instructions and vision. And we should take it really to our hearts now. Actually, yeah, before starting the presentation, it's helpful. Everybody can hear my voice, it's loud enough coming. Usually we speak with mic, but it's helpful, but it's always good. It takes total control. Before we start, we always say, because actually our mind has been so trained up through our schools also, and then the media, and then the intensity of our jobs, that although we like the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, the very concept of simple living, high thinking, but it has a tendency to immediately, after hearing, we put it on a side plate, a nice plate, but on the side. And again, we are totally absorbed in the modern concepts of economics, politics, social life, and it occupies our entire energy of our hearts, the total intellectual activity in our brains. Immediately we switch on to that because we have been conditioned for that. So, and that's the sad thing, so that although there is a brilliant, much more wonderful lifestyle waiting for us, but we are not realizing enough the immediate opportunity of this. We could do it now immediately. Everybody knows everything is over-polluted, over-corrupted, and if something is too sick, you cannot change it so easily. Better to step out of it, right? To prepare to step out, right? Or you're forced to step out. What is better? Preparing to step out or forced to step out? There are enormous evil plans on the way. So the whole concept should be 50% can stay in the city, 50% should get out. We have 1 million devotees all over the world. How many? 10 lakhs. That's not a small group. But we are still in the dream of Kali Yuga. Bad dream. But there is a prediction that the golden age will come back, but we have to work for it. It will not come, it will not fall from the sky. Like Krishna says to Arjuna, you're gonna do the job, I'm gonna watch. No, Arjuna says, you do the job, you're God, I'm gonna watch. Right? And Krishna didn't like this proposal. He wants to give credit to his devotees to execute his brilliant plan. So Lord wants to glorify his devotees, and the devotee wants to glorify Krishna, not only by singing about Goloka Vrindavan, but if you ask them, go now to live with the cows, oh, I cannot. This is not good. It's called hypocrisy. Glorifying Krishna in any way, his philosophy, we're going to execute it. We're going to implement it. Isn't it? And of course, we're not going to stop kirtan, of course. That's for sure. We're going to take breaks. So, glorifying Krishna means so many things. Wonderful house programs, nice families, nice brahmacharis, nice self-sufficient farms, the first-class music, first-class art, first class educational systems. And we have a lot of work. You should know, if you come in touch with the Hare Krishna movement, it is not just some meditation here, much more on the job. So I'm going to start reading Prabhupada's quotes. It's beautiful. It's from the teachings of Queen Kunti, chapter 23, and it's called Natural Prosperity. Today it is not prosperity. It's an artificial pep-up. Everything is plastic, iron. It's not real prosperity. You agree on this? Yes or no?
Yes.
Then why you're keep sitting in the bank system? Sorry, my talk is sometimes very confronting, but I think you digest this. Ime jana pada suvrida supakausadi virudaha vanadrinadi udanvanto hirante tava vikshitai. Queen Kunti speaks. Oh Krishna, all these cities and villages, they are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits. The rivers are flowing. The hills are full of minerals. And the oceans of wealth, full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.840. That is a quote of Queen Kunti, an extremely important sloka. We should all together help to popularize this purport everywhere. Everywhere. We're going to pump it in everywhere. If they pump in all this garbage, we can pump back. You catch the point? So here Queen Kunti, she doesn't say the cities and villages are flourishing because all the Microsoft laptops everywhere. And all the skyscrapers, and all the factories are booming, and that's why the cities are flourishing. She never talks. Another purport Prabhupada says, nowhere ever in the most brilliant scripture in the world, Srimad Bhagavatam, is mentioned one letter about factories. It's not at all necessary. Quite a shock for some to hear. Industrialization is a total brainchild of the demons. Interesting point. That doesn't mean we have to throw everything out, but it is like Prabhupada says, we have to use the thorn to take out the thorn. This over-technology, over-industrialization, messing around with the creation of Krishna, damaging more than improving more, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessary. It's like a thorn in the social body. The human society is like a, right? A body. The intellectuals, the brains, they are not there now. All Sudras. Technology means Sudra. Administrators who can make a whole society peaceful, who protect the innocent, is not there. It's plunderers, dashus, bloodsuckers, politicians. But they should be there. The arms should be strong. They're weak. And then the mercantile class, the business class, Vaishya, the belly. There's also not much there because they kill the cows instead protecting the cows. And then the working class who are simply helping out others. So there are now pins, thorns inside. And that is this, in this over-industrialization, over-machinery, and paper money system. Paper money system is not a natural economics. You can read in the book why. In the Vedic concept there was no paper money. What was there? Huh?
Exchange of products.
Natural products. And how the economy was going? Huh?
Exchange.
Which one?
Exchanging price for something else.
Yeah, how is that called?
Barter.
What?
Barter.
You forgot almost. Yes, that is 90% of the economics. And it's localized economics. For instance, you produce milk, the highest quality if you small units of 2 cows each house. Huh? And then the quality is immediately, directly delivered to the customer who barters. So it is first class and less, you don't need all this over technology, right? Now, one guy want to make a big money, so he gathers all the milk and employs 500 people, and it's called dairy. And what all you have to compromise on the quality of the product.
So much nice.
And we say, oh, he's a successful businessman. Huh? And the ones who working in the situation with all the machines, and you have to put all these chemicals inside to keep the milk good, and putting water inside, and goat milk also, and buffalo milk. And we know how it goes with dairies. Or here in the West, it's first they squeeze the cows full of hormones, and that's also good for the agro industry, selling hormones to billions of big cows. It's good bucks, man. Economics, I'm a big successful businessman. It's sick economics. Sick. Top to bottom. Is it not?
Yes.
And then you drink that milk and you get allergy and you get swelled up and say, hey, we should not drink milk. Milk is not good. Right? Right? Soya milk. No, Krishna say, my cow milk, my surabi milk. And the modern people, they kick Krishna in the face. Krishna is a stupid fellow. We have to improve his situation. He is such a stupid fellow. We need to improve his creation by technology. Huh? We don't feel this? How we can tolerate such a blasphemy to our Lord? Yes? So nobody can be more brilliant than Krishna. You agree on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Please raise your hand. I want to see positive information. Yes. Who is the supreme scientist?
Krishna.
Who has made this human body?
Krishna.
It's a scientific machine.
Yes.
How many computer quality is this? Few thousand computer megabytes, right? Right? Now how old is that machine? When did it discover? So old. Millions of years back. So science is nothing new. Yes or yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
And the apple tree and the banana tree, how the factory grows and the product comes out, is high technology. Yes or yes or no?
Yes.
So science is nothing new, so keep your hands off Krishna's creation. He knows how to do things, you should follow what he says. That is Sanatana Dharma followers. Otherwise we are just artificial designator of a certain religion. Totally external. Correct? Not good. We have to follow as it is. Huh? Krishna says, economics means Krishi Gorakshaya Pranya is third. Trade is third only. First, what? Agriculture. And second? You cannot have a proper agriculture without
Cow.
Cow.
cow. Yes. And how much percentage of the economics is that? 5%, huh?
No, the whole.
90%. And that's-
Previously it was 90, now it is not agriculture, is not more anymore 90%.
Definitely not. Very less.
Very less. People
And then the agriculture what we have is agro industry, is cash crop thing. It's not for the farmer, it's for the multinational. The farmers get scratched and commit suicide. But how many people commit suicide in the city, that they don't say.
yeah.
There's competition going on and I know who's winning competition. Bangalore, 4,000 suicides every year, especially in the IT business. All glories to the industrialization, secular state. Vedic culture is stupid culture, so we're never gonna set that up. What is this? India has to wake up. Also, the world has to wake up. Veda is the best. So who is the supreme scientist?
Krishna.
Who is the supreme engineer?
Krishna.
Who is the supreme president?
Krishna.
We don't want to follow you. We don't want to. We have no faith. When I go to the countryside, how will I live there? How will I survive? I don't have my washing machine. No, you wash with your own hands. I'm doing that last 20 years. And it's giving good health. You get exercise. Otherwise, you have to go to the gym and pay every month 50 euros. Yes or yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. I want to hear some response. So I read on, listen carefully and take it to your heart. Don't let it come left ear in and right ear out. Forget. Should write down this thing. Human prosperity flourishes by Mercedes-Benz. Huh? Natural gifts, and not by gigantic industrial enterprise. The gigantic, listen this one, gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization. That's what I told you. Industrialization is a product of the demons. Only just 100 years. And what is the result of that? They cause the destruction of the noble aims of human life. That's what we see. No more morality, just you tinkling some money and anything can be done. Slaughterhouses, casinos, illicit sex, and what is that? Meat eating, gambling. All the things, the four sinful ways, is very easy to make money. There's no morality anymore. Just throw the money and somebody is ready to do it. That's the power of paper money. Be careful. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries, for what? To squeeze out the total vital energy of the human being. I see everybody is becoming robots. You see that? And that is their plan. Chapter, Economics in Ignorance. How to make everybody a consuming robot, separate from each other. The husband should be a consuming item, the wife should be a consuming item, and now also the children is totally bombarded by the marketing. Because they want money, they want business. And you have a family of 4. If there's only one consumer or 4, what is better? Huh? Crazy. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of the people in general. Although, a few only can live lavishly by exploitation. And that's what's explained. That 1% again owns 90% of the wealth of the world bankers. They run away with all. A few can only live lavishly by exploitation through the factories. Don't stay in the village. Nothing is there. Sending all the children to the donkey education. Huh? The natural gifts such as grains, vegetables, fruits, rivers, the hills of jewels and minerals, and the seas full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme. And as He desires, material nature produces them in abundance or restricts them at times. But the natural law is that the human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature. Anyway, whatever we have is all ground elements from Mother Earth, is it not? Whether you have an industrialization or you have a natural agriculture economic, it has to come, Mother Nature has to give, is it not? So if Krishna decides to restrict, the petrol will be finished. How the big cities will look? We're going to wait for that, huh? Better be prepared now. A first-class student, he acts on the knowledge immediately. A second-class student, he heard the brilliant knowledge, then he doesn't act, he gets a bang on his head and then he acts. And the third-class student, he hears the brilliant knowledge, he doesn't act. He gets the bang on his head, he doesn't act. Again he makes this mistake, doesn't act. So what we should try to become?
First class student.
Which class student?
First class.
Some are not opening the mouth yet. Don't be scared for Krishna's systems. Natural law is that the human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. The greed should not be taking over. We all became too greedy. I want this, maybe I want this one, I want this more. You should not play that game. And you cannot give out the greed only when you can give up the greed. That hankering for external things. When that will stop? You know, I think. See your smiling face.
When we develop love for Krishna,
Yes. When we are inside satisfied, all these automatically the greed go down. So practicing Krishna consciousness is the best solution for all the political problems. They want our advice also. And we're going to show that, we're going to help them, we're going to talk to them. Isn't it? And Prabhupada said, without Krishna consciousness, the impersonal mukti, Om, that is not enough. Because we are not meant to sit in the silence for millions of lifetimes. We want interaction. The Atma is a social entity. So we want Krishna consciousness. Conscious of Krishna as a person. He is the boss and I'm the das. Right? My name is Amita Krishna Das and Govinda is my boss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, that's good to identify. This philosophy is so crystal clear. You don't have to be a PhD even for that. Das, we are Das and he is the boss. Now that's also, many people don't want to hear that. I'm also the light, I'm the energy, I'm the love. Right? Without Krishna, where is the love? If you cannot love Krishna, where is your love? A perfect personality. No? I was just reading last week the 64 qualities of Krishna. He's kind, he's intelligent, he's patient, he's always well-wishing, he's always, he knows all the languages to talk, he can act on time, place, circumstances absolutely correctly. I want to meet such a personality. Yeah? So he is the perfect personality. Now he is described. If we cannot love such a personality, whom we can love? That's a good question. It's a good question, think about it. So why we should hide Krishna all the time? Yeah? Here is God, Prabhupada says. When he came to America, he talked to Christians, he talked to Muslims. Now you're so mad after God. Here is God. Study. Yes? Now he's a Hindu God. You show. Why is he Hindu God? Nothing to do with just Hindu. He's God. Krishna is God. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our whims of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reaction of such exploitative attempts. We're going to block up. The system is blocking up. If we have sufficient grains, fruits, vegetables and herbs, then what is the necessity of running a slaughterhouse and killing poor animals? How many animals are slaughtered every year?
Endless.
Yen.
A lot.
Yen.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yen.
What is that?
Infinity.
Infinity.
Almost, yeah. But we want a particular figure. It's more confronting. How many? I was thinking 60 billion animals every
60
year.
billion.
10 times the world human population. Huh? But now Dhaneshvara was checking up, and there is a counter, there is a special website who counts every minute how many 60,000 every minute cows or something. So it comes up now already to 150 billion. Tortured and slaughtered. Since the last 50 years they have, fine-tuned, cannot call it fine-tuned, the slaughterhouses, the animal farms. From birth they have to live in a horrible situation. Before the Second World War, it was not yet like that. So that is the situation. Why we have to do all these things? In the name of economics. Right? A man need not kill an animal if he has sufficient grains and vegetables to eat. The flow of river waters fertilizes the fields and there is more than what we need. Minerals are produced in the hills and the jewels in the ocean. If the human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, water, milk, etc., then why should we hanker after terrible industrial enterprise at the cost of the labor of some unfortunate men? But all these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to be obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service. The indication by Queen Kunti Devi are just to the point. She desires that God's mercy be bestowed upon us and them, so that natural prosperity be maintained by His grace. So we should have faith. If we practice Krishna consciousness, the rain will fall properly and Mother Nature will supply. Prabhupada, after the Second World War in India, he wrote a letter to the minister. He says, when there is so much devastation all over the world, he says, I have a plan ready by the mercy of my Guru Maharaj, on the basis of the Bhagavad Gita, a plan of complete harmony. A complete harmony between the fatherhood of Godhead, the motherhood of Mother Nature, and the childhood of all living entities. So everything will be supplied. We ask many times the question, do you think that Yudhishthira Maharaj, 5,200 years ago, he didn't know how to make a Mercedes-Benz or a Microsoft laptop? Question. What is your answer? You think he didn't know? Then I tell you a small story. When Arjuna also was asking at one point, Yantra Gyan. You understand what is Yantra Gyan? Knowledge about machinery. And what Lord has answered on this? You know? He said, don't touch this. That's only for the people of Kali Yuga who only know material things. Interesting. So it's not that the Vedic kings didn't know all these things, but why to make your life over busy with machines? You become the servant of the machine, not the machine servant of you. It is an enormous big administration to set up to maintain the machines, and we have to work on that. And while the machine is not going to give me perfection of life, it is the process of Krishna consciousness, the whole lifestyle. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a High Court judge in the British colony with 11 children, he gave a formula. 8 hours should be for the body. Sleep, eat, wash the clothes. 8 hours for job, to maintain your family. You need some food, right? You don't deny this, right? But not 12, 16 hours a day. Then 8 hours are left for what? No, to go to the supermarket.
Shopping.
Cinema. Jogging. No, for the Atma. What is this 8 hours? 8 hours? Oh, 24 hours, but you start with 8 hours. It's called the songs, because we have to transform this mind from the material to the spiritual. Chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, it is not easy to do that. It's not just to click on some incense and that is bhakti. Bhakti is much more, is it not? It's a total committed system, brilliantly explained in the Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam. The whole Vedic civilization is meant for scientific perfection of the soul. And all the energy goes specifically for this consciousness transformation. The whole system, political, social, economic system, was a servant of this concept. I mean, it's not an easy job. It's not just, go for some darshan of the Lord and then go out again. Really, much more. It's called, modern Hinduism, how we call that? We call it hybrid Sanatana Dharma. I think you agree on this. I'm sorry, I'm talking heavy. It's superficial. It is also hijacked by the materialists. Christianity has been hijacked by the materialists. Islam has been taken over by the demons the last 2,000 years. We know, 70 million Hindus they have chopped up in 1,000 years. This is nothing to do with the religion. The same with Hinduism has been diverted like mad. It's so clear. Sarva dharma parityajya ma ekam chapandi. Sarva dharmam
Sarvadharmam
Parijjaja
Parijjaja
Mam Ekam Sharanam Braja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayashami Masucha. So give up all varieties of worship. Simply surrender to me, Super Boss. I take away all your sinful reactions. Don't worry. Why to make everything so complicated? So if we do that, we can do wonders. We can transform the whole world. He said when consciousness creates reality. Yeah? If consciousness is in tamagun, like the last 25 years, the whole economic system is super tamagun. Snatching the profit at any cost. In India you see the whiskey business is booming because they smelled it, man. In 2 years you can become a billionaire. Why should you miss that market? Foul is fair, fair is foul. Mr. Keynes, chapter Economics of Passion. You snatch it, man, then you get money. And if you get money, your politicians will glorify you, the media will glorify you. So come on, go for it, millions of drunkards. India has become not, it used to be Bharatabhumi, Japandi, follow? Bharatabhumi, Vedabhumi, Punya Bhumi, Dharma Bhumi, Karma Bhumi. But now, you don't have to. It's whiskey bhumi, chicken bhumi, Bollywood bhumi. Huh? It's going to dogs. But when India suffers, the whole world suffers. Where is the revival of your culture? Huh? You have such an extreme important responsibility to the world. East-West should combine. Prabhu said, the blind and the lame should help each other. Right? I believe in the cooperation of East and West very much. I have spent 15 years in India without coming out of India to deepen my life in the holy places, not in the Bollywood cities, but in the holy places and on the countryside. Padayatra, I walked all over India, 15,000 kilometers, walking out all the contamination. Still, much is remaining, but we are good on the way. So, but now I feel it's good to come back also, and East and West, blind and lame. What is that? The West is not lame. They know how to set up things, establish things, right? Their technology is all over the world, but they are blind. That's, you see, they're breaking the relationships so easy. They forgot how to maintain relationships. The deepening of life is not much there, right? Indians, you're not blind. Your culture cannot be rooted out. It's the most tough culture for the multinationals and the world bankers to root out. They want to root all the ingenious culture. That's why they mix all the cultures together. And they want to have one culture, only consuming culture. They're on the job and they do the good job, but India is the most tough place. But they have a special program now. Smoke out India with the traffic jams. It's happening. And I don't know whether these leaders of India are catching the point, just keep on dreaming.
They're not catching.
Not yet catching, eh?
No.
Then by force, third class students. Somebody has to talk to them.
No use.
Maybe Dhaneshvara should start talking to them with a book. No use maybe.
Because they are not educated.
Spiritually educated. But anyway, we should believe in miracles also. And we should work for the miracle. Huh? Is it not? So the combination is good. India should learn more confidence to establish things, especially your culture. Is it not? And the West should a little bit more become introspective. We don't know everything. We have something to learn from East. That humility should grow more. Right? And then these two can grow. So, I want to take 15 minutes more, it's okay?
Yes.
Because it's kind of seminar, small seminar. No problem? Yes. Okay?
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were discussing it. It was possible to say we will ask the opinion of the group. So it's okay?
Yes. Whatever you offer is in the room, no?
So, 15 minutes is to present a summary of the book, so you have a little bit more idea. And then the author of the book is coming September, October, he marks a Europe tour. So he's probably coming to Dublin also. And he wants, especially interested to make presentation in universities, in government officers, radio, TV. So if you're able, if you want to help on that, it's always good. So I read first a quote to introduce. So the whole book is divided in 3 ways. Economics in goodness, then economics in passion, and economics in ignorance. Now we know the concepts goodness, passion, and ignorance, but we don't know the real application today, what it actually means, how it symptomizes in economic action. So that is the interesting thing of the book, that you crystal clear can see through the illusion. Because Maya, we know Maya is very powerful, yes or no?
Yes.
Maya is powerful.
Yes.
Some they are spending millions of lifetimes to come out, so it's not easy. So through the book you can see through the illusion what the world bankers are creating is enormous. And it's enormously evil. But I start with reading a quote of Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of US. He says, it's a very wonderful statement. There seem to be 3 ways for a nation to acquire wealth. The first one is by war, as the Romans did, in plundering their conquered neighbors. This is robbery. That's what he says. Now this is Tamagun economics. And the same thing they do to, they rob all the countries through the paper money system. I don't know whether you understand, catch that already. It's a subtle war, plundering. This is Tamagun economics. That's already Benjamin Franklin understood this, but many people today not understand this anymore. The second way is by commerce, trade, which is generally cheating. That is economics in passion, started to be encouraged more by Adam Smith. The wealth of nations. The basic thing is, he says, you introduce a salary system and the paper money, and you produce in countries where it's cheap, you bring it to your country, and again you sell it back. So actually the rich countries were the eastern countries in Africa, and the poor countries was Europe. So they made a brilliant system by bringing export and import is only that, sucking out one country and making becoming super rich on the cost of another country, and we never catch really the point, because all on the way those who cooperate get a little bit scratch and selling their souls. Right? Now the third one is the real one, he says, the best one. And what is that? What Benjamin Franklin said here. The third, by agriculture, the only honest, real way of economics, where a man receives a real increase of the seed thrown into the ground in a kind of continuum. That's why we are working on the website, an economy of abundance versus an economy of scarcity and poverty. The modern system is which one?
Economic scarcity and poverty.
Today, economics of abundance, right? So much paper money, so many laptops, No, scarcity product. You have always we have too many bills to pay. Right? Some people are immediately realizing it, or it's too costly, and that's the system, and we'll never become others. And we squeeze our children in that to follow the whole thing and damaging so much on the way. Yeah. But here is very clear. When you put one seed in the ground, how much profit you get? Simple point. How many seeds come out? With rice, it's a few 100 seeds on one seed. You know? Of course you have to wait 4 months. And you put €100 in the bank balance. How many seeds you get from that?
Maybe 101.
And how long you have to wait?
More than
1
1
year.
year.
1 year. And still you not get much. So what is the better economics? Right? So then so the book starts to explain what is an economic man, and he explains very nice that actually it's sort of human behavior. It is not such thing as an established principle. It's just a psychology of a person. It goes very deep in the subject, and then mainly he explains in the second chapter lust, envy, and greed. It's a system where lust, because if you get more desires, material desires, it's not only the sex desire, it's all the desires of possession in this material world, Ishvara Hama Hambhogi. Then you're gonna work for that, and you're gonna produce things for their profit. And then envy, he has it, so I also should have. And greed, I want more, I want more. And they asked Rockefeller, what is your philosophy? You know what he answered? You might have heard of it. He said, more, 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 more. So that's the introduction. Then it is explained the economics of goodness. This is a historical overview. We know that is the Vedic culture. And some examples from Kashmir, how it used to be so wonderful, and it got spoiled by the interaction of the tourism with the paper money. That's example. Then economics of passion. Now this is an interesting thing. Economics of passion. Here there is a point, destruction of the commons. That for centuries, the rulers of the country, they were always trying to break the cooperation of the village communities who are self-sufficient. They never divided the lands, because in the beginning of the year they will always come together and say, these are all the lands and these are all our people, so who is doing the different cultivations, and then at the end of the season they divide amongst themselves, and they were forced to help each other. I mean, the system makes you cooperate, right? And it was a wonderful community, right? As long as they had pure spiritual principles. And the rulers never liked it. They always hated it. And they were very strongly, for 200-300 years, they were cracking it to pieces in Europe. That the villagers, they were engaging them in wars. They were forcing taxes by the military forces. They came in the village, some they burn up the stock, say, no, you have to bring your profit to the cities, and there we're gonna sell. But the villagers were not interested in that. So they have slowly introduced, broken this cooperation of the village commons. It's called the Commonwealth. You can see there's a whole historical development, and the whole idea was that you can only have small properties, not large properties, small. So that is called divide and rule, right? You can have something very small, and always you remain the second proprietor. If the government say it's mine, you have to give everything up. We come from the Roman Empire, so the whole thing of divide and rule, and then the real breaking of the village life they have done with the introduction after Adam Smith in the beginning of the 20th century, with the introduction of the paper money system. and the industrialization. See, if you come to our cities, we're going to produce this and that, and some initial scratchy so-called improvement of life. Huh? And then they came to the factories and say, but if you want to work in our factories, only we maintain you, we're not going to give you grain stock, we're going to give you paper money. And paper money is only paper. You work very hard. If I give you grains, you can eat, but paper you cannot even eat. And there they play with the prices like mad, and all the profit is for them, and you lose always. And that is the last 100 years. And that is explained here in the economics of ignorance. Increasing the I and my. They want you, all of us to think, I am totally independent. I can do what I want as long as I have paper money with me. Eh? And then I don't need you, you don't need me. We just come together, we smile a little bit and we go our own way. And then loneliness starts, relationships problems start, all because of this concept of the paper money in my own pocket. Right? The idea they give you, okay, you can earn, free market, you work for it, man. You become a self-made man, you become a smart guy, you work for it, you go for it. Right? That's the whole mood. That's what they want, that you start working for it, you tax your brains for it. But the result is only that they're thieving you. Increasing I and my by theft of the local nation, increasing the I and my by theft of a nation, increasing the I and my by stealing from the shareholders, increasing the I and my by stealing from the people, increasing the I and my by slavery. That's one of the Milton Friedman economic strategies. The perfect slave thinks he's free. You know? That's an interesting point. Think about this. At one point the black slavery was getting attention by the human rights groups. It was growing and they got opposition. Again, the demons have always a much more smarter plan ready to keep their control. They are so brilliant. To kick out God, to keep him away, and that they rule. The Darwin theory, industrialization, Aryan invasion theory, archaeological department is all meant to drive out the Vedic concept. Expertly they have done. Those are, most Indians almost are catching the clue anymore. Even. It's our culture. It's turning out it did. Okay, we don't need this black slavery anymore. Now, we have the paper money system that makes better slaves than anyone. How? Because the black slaves, if you keep slaves, you have to build a house for them. When they're sick, you have to care. Now, with the paper money, they're going to pay everything themselves for them. And they're going to work harder than the slaves. So, who can be such a good slave? The perfect slave is the one who thinks he's free. And who is the one who thinks free? Who thinks, if I have paper money, I can do what I want. And that's how they hook your nose. Perfectly. So then you have the world bankers as your boss. But if you live according to the Vedic concept, then Mother Bhumi is your boss. But we don't want it. We have so many doubts on this. Right? So we should come together and we should really start working on it. In our own countries, in the local countries. And really become serious. There is explanation of you heard about this economic hitman who are shooting presidents and politicians off if they not open up for the multinationals. The shock doctrine of Milton Friedman. See, if a multinational, the world bankers, they work with the multinationals, right? If they want to do, they think on huge business, not like an ordinary businessman. They do business immediately by conquering a country. Like all the South American countries are conquered by hitmen. That means, see, if that is already economics in ignorance. If you ask a country, I want to do business with you, you request, then they have to have a meeting, and maybe they like it, or they don't like it, and then you give them profits, but then it takes a long time. But these multinationals, they don't want to waste time. So they just go to the president and they say, we're going to boost your country for sure. You allow all our multinationals, in 2 years we set up your whole country, right? And if you don't like it, your daughter and your son, you don't like to have some eye missing or something, or some arm missing. That's so simple it goes. There is one John Perkins, who was a hitman, he has confessed everything. This is called shock doctrine. And there's one writer, excellent writer, Naomi Klein. She wrote a book, Shock Doctrine. And she explains how it is educated to the top business people. For instance, the Chicago Business School. The one who come out of that, they take immediately all the top positions in any multinational. Of course, you're not going to study there, because the fare is $1 million a year. Right? So that's only their own families entering there. And they have these specific techniques. One example I heard from one of the multinationals in the air conditioners. They had a meeting in Malaysia. All the best sellers, they came together in a 5-star hotel, and the director came. He came in, and everybody was on the dining table, and suddenly one vulture came in, flying in. And he landed on one plate and snatched the meat away. And then the director stood up. This is the way you have to do business. That's the way to do it. Yeah, we laugh now, but this is the way things go. Naomi Klein explains that, see, if you want to really make big bucks in a fast time, then you use the shock doctrine. For instance, if I want to steal from you your pocket, I have to see how you move and this and that. And then at the right moment, that takes time. What I do with you, I create an accident for you. And you drop on the floor, you bleed to death, and it's very easy to take your money. This is the economic strategies of today. Economics of ignorance. It's called also vulture capitalism or casino capitalism, because the people have become so weak. For small things, you're gonna pay huge monies. Like the lottery is a huge success, because the people have become so lazy and so easily tricked. They lose most of the time, but for the government, they make billions and billions of dollars with the lottery. They have worked very hard, they got some money, and still they lose it in the lotto. Huh? They make them so dry, there is no spiritual life, only based on sense gratification. So they have to immediately spend all their money again in their things. Then they have all the bad habits, and then again you go to the hospital. And that is the number 2 income of the world multinationals. The pharmaceutical industry is the number 2, and the number 1 business is what? Huh? What is the number 1 business?
Politics.
Yeah, the politics is pushing which business?
Education.
Huh?
Education.
No.
It's also a big one.
It's
The
weapons.
children are also, they are in debt before they come out. What a stupid thing. Huh?
It's weapons.
Yes.
War weapons.
Weapon industry is the number 1. So in 20th century, 256 wars has been created. How you sell your weapons? Not, I have a nice tank, I have a nice airplane. Not like that. It is my brochure, No, you create war. That's it. And this is the number 1 income of the world bankers. The Second World War, both parties were financed by the world bankers. You can imagine how powerful they feel. So actually they have mystical power. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, to defeat him by any human endeavor is not possible. Now many people want to protest, they want to snatch out the Wall Street, they want to dismantle the Federal Reserve Bank. You heard about all these things? Because they are separate from the world American government. They are controlling the American government. So they understood the evil plans, but by political endeavor it is not enough. It has to be an entire change of consciousness. That is Dhaneshvara Prabhu explains here, that It is the total reintroduction of the mode of goodness that has to be done. Because Tamagun, Rajagun is now extremely strong. Right? So, but if 1% is following these Mangalarti morning programs, even in a condensed study, in a morning program, then the mode of goodness is reawakened. And 1% is enough to drive out the Tamagun and the Rajagun. So there is a special chapter also explaining all the influence of money. Its aura of mystic, the value of paper money is an illusion. Money divides us and isolates us from each other. Money distorts the natural social order. Money often creates a consciousness of lack, encourages the cheating propensity. Naturally, if you get too fast money, you do all nonsense. If you have a barter system and gold coins, there's only 20%, you cannot become greedy. You have to forced to remain honest. Right? Now the most evil thing I want to tell you, what is the nature of these world leaders? Now they want to reduce the world population, hold your heart, from 6 billion to 500 million. And don't think it's a story. How they will do that? Huh?
Medicine.
Not one thing. Medicine, yes. Vaccines, yes. The vaccine gives you cancer. It will not.
10 to 15 medicines.
And they make big money, son. That's the way they work. 100%. It's all a lie. There was an American author who is very brilliant. He wrote the book, The People of the Lie. World Health Organization is a lie. United Nations is a lie. I cannot explain everything in 1 hour. It's all in the book. Heavy, eh? Don't get scared. Why not? Krishna is there. But don't keep quiet also. Let's make an enormous propaganda. In 10 years they want to re-establish a new world order. No more local governments. There is already no more Irish government, no English government, no Indian government. Shall I give you an example? All the cool drinks in India, you had Limca, Mazza. That's all now Coca-Cola company.
Yes.
Same principle. They
Yeah.
visit the owner
Yeah. There's only
and
one
it gets $10 million. So why you should say no? And keep quiet. And after you're not going to tell it, eh? Otherwise again I'm going to visit your daughter. Yeah, it's really, you read the testimony of John Perkins. What a story. And we are all simple people and keep them sitting on our head. Eh? They're extreme evil people. And Prabhupada says also, these are Rakshasas are controlling the earth now. The descendants of Hiranyakashipu, demons. What are Rakshasas? We heard about it, huh? But when it is now, we don't want to believe they are existing. Man-eaters. They love to see the weak suffer. Then the question was asked by American psychologists. They call psychopath. 10% of the CEOs, chief executive officers, are total psychopaths in America. There was one was detected. He had been secretly killing 15 or 20 ladies or children. He has misused them, chopped them up and eaten them up. He is a top man, beautiful speaking, talking, socially totally adjusted. Then they catched him and the High Court judge says, I'm not going to judge this man, bring him to the mental hospital and investigate this man. Then they investigated him, they start to work with him, asking questions, say, don't you feel guilty? One thing. Say, no. It feels good. And that is exactly, they are so pepped into result that the pain of others is not in their, whatever social peace formula they speak is just from the lips, it's just something they memorized, it is nothing from the heart. He never had a depression. He kept smiling after being exposed. He never had a guilt feeling. So the psychiatrists are not able to describe such a personality. And these people are sitting on top of the world. And they have a free hand, because the paper money system makes a separate law. On top, they make the new laws. You select the political parties, but they change the law, so we don't have a democracy also. So to end this, and then we're gonna do 5 minutes japa together also. How it feels to chant together, also very cool. These are few statements that you can understand that there is a real secret government going on all over the world. So this is not somebody's statement of somebody in the society. This is statements of presidents of US long time back. They are already long time working on the new world order. And this new world order will be a dictatorship. Scary. This is a statement of Woodrow Wilson, US President, in 1913. Since I have entered the politics, I have chiefly had men's views confided to me privately. Some of the biggest men in the United States in the fields of commerce and manufacture are afraid of something. They know there is a power somewhere. Who the big guys 80 years back in US who made success all over the world. Coca-Cola owner is one of them. But they felt something. And what is that they felt? Listen this. They know there is a power somewhere, so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so all-pervasive, that they better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. So the commerce leaders, they want to condemn it, but they were scared. They were such big guys, but they were scared. I have unwillingly ruined my country. That is Woodrow Wilson. Why he is telling that? Because he was the one who signed the paper for the Federal Reserve Bank. A great industrial nation is controlled by its system of credit. Our system of credit is concentrated in the hands of a very few men. It's confirmed lately also that only 13 families controls everything. Because everything is paper money system, everything is multinational, everything is genes, everything is skyscraper, everything education is only engineering, medical, business. Where is the agricultural school? Where is the cow protection school? Where is the art school? They decide education. Only few families. Our system of credit is concentrated in the hands of a few men. We have come to be one of the worst ruled, one of the most completely controlled and dominated governments in the world. Which one? US. No longer a government of free opinion. No longer a government of conviction and vote of the majority. That's only a show. But a government by the opinion and endurance of a small groups of dominant world banker groups. Then Henry Ford, industry giant, it is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking monetary system. For if they did, listen this one, there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. The only aim of these financiers is world control, by the control of creating inextinguishable debts. Once you are in debt to me, you have to follow my conditions. Simple. And that's, they pep the Rajagun, the passion. Come on, build a bigger house, get a better car, and take a loan. And then you're finished. Right, this is Franklin Roosevelt. The real truth of the matter is, as you and I know, that a financial element in the large center has owned the government ever since the days of Andrew Jackson. Then James Warburg, Rothschild banking agent. Who knows about Rothschild? Rothschild? He's one of the world bankers. In 1913 or so, 20, he says, give me the control of a nation's money. I do not care who makes the law. There are many YouTubes on that you can see, first class, documented, very strongly analyzed. American journalists are the best. Indian journalists, they just sell their
They're
soul
worst.
for a few.
They'll take
They,
money of you.
yeah, they shut their mouth, but American journalists not. So the end game, you can tick in the YouTube, the end game, another is Thrive, another was the Domino Collapse from Michael Rupert, Alex Jones, Max Eigen, Naomi Klein, and then Alex Jones is one of the best. You have to see that. It's very eye-opening. Yeah. So here, this bank agent of Rothschild, James Warburg, see how he talks. We shall have a world government whether or not you like it, either by conquest or by consent. Means either by you agree on it or otherwise we force you. We're going to see that in 5 years' time. So Prabhupada, long time ago, he told, ISKCON should be a society to live independent from outside help, to produce our own clothes, our own grains, build our own houses, and have our own milk, to have more time to practice Krishna consciousness. So it's all there in this section of great pure souls. They can see the past, present, and future, and we should become more and more familiar with that. Separate, and then we should go for action. What I see, the practical thing from this point we can do, so extremely important now is this Bhakti Vrikshas, the systematic 64 weeks training, and this group's gonna produce so many other products in Vedic economics. Spiritual economics means which stops the greed. If you just take money to sit in the system, you're going to be drained out. If you sit in the system to expose the system, you're going to come out. So what is this three thing? Something with the prasad distribution like the Govinda restaurants. Something with knowledge distribution, seminar institutes we can set up for helping people with problems, internal problems, social problems, spiritual problems. We are the best counselors, isn't it? And then the Harinam, the festival, the music, in this way, and then the 50% is the self-sufficient concepts, right? That starts from the Bhakti Vriksha, and the books, the knowledge has to keep going, the magazine work, the Harinams, we should come out. So that is two things. From there, the Varnashram Dharma College will come up. We have already in London, and the Krishna Avanti School, it should come everywhere. Comes from the Bhakti Vrikshas. And then the fruit is what? What is the fruit?
Independent. Better society.
Huh?
Better society.
Bigger bank balance? What is the fruit?
Better society.
How? What is the better society?
Self-sufficient agriculture communities.
Really? We have to go back to the Stone Age. Was there a Stone Age? Last thing. Let's see. There was a Golden Age. What is the name? Huh? Satya Yuga. Then the second one?
Treta.
Treta Yuga. That is the Silver Age. Then Dwapara. That is which age?
Bronze.
Bronze. Now? Kali Yuga.
Iron.
Iron. Where is the Stone Age? Good fight. There was never a Stone Age. So this simple living, high thinking based on agriculture, because the Vedic kings were totally sharp on this. Keep simple. Right? Two things they were seeing. There should be Brahminical education means people who are so detached, so pure from heart that they can transform the character in pure soul, so the greed is not there. And they were teaching the whole society. So naturally the system is very pure, the people are very pure. And then cows. That was the main administration of a Vedic king. The spiritual education should be very dynamic, and the cows should be everywhere flourishing. It seems there used to be more cows in India than human beings, not so long ago. And then one Britisher colonial came and investigated, said this kind of system you cannot break with war, you cannot break any time. Then he gave the report to London, and then what came? Start the cow slaughterhouses. So cow protection, that is the fruit of our preaching. Back to normal, not back to primitive. As long as you think it is primitive, backward, you can never be successful in try to escape the, they're gonna sit on our head, they're gonna create trouble. Through the food chain, you heard about Codex Alimentarius? Every country is connected with, almost every, with World Trade Organization. If you want to boost your business, you work under them, you can fast pump your business. But you have to follow their rules. And for everything they have the ingredients which has to be in the products. And you don't know that. But it's very fishy. It starts from the land, the chemicals, then in the milk, then the water, then the fluoride in the water line, and then all the packet things in the supermarket. And we don't know, by genetically modified, now you don't know what they are putting inside extra. But their aim is to reduce the world population. That's the #1 plan of the United Nations, secret plan. So let's get very serious. It's a heavy message. So, any question?
Are you having a second part tomorrow morning?
Okay, we are here still to
If anyone interested, whether part 2 of the episode will be tomorrow morning, and anyone interested, we can set the timing. He has to leave at 11. So before that, anyone interested, we can have, say, 8 to 10 or 8 to 9, like that. Whoever is interested, please come.
At what time starting?
You can start as the lecture will start at 8, but you can start. The program will start at 6.
Oh,
So whatever time you can make it will be good.
6 morning or 9?
6 morning.
It's nice in the morning.
One-
We sing it's very soft Mangalarti. It's nice and
Once
some
a-
japa
once a day we
together,
can
get in the
sacrifice.
routine, to establish, re-invoke Lord Brahmaji. Now it's the time to invoke the mode of goodness. It's nice. The demigods came to complain to Brahmaji, oh, the demons are making a tough job for us, how we cannot stop them. Then he analyzed, at one point he said, don't worry, now is the time to re-invoke the mode of goodness. How to do that? The morning is goodness, Mangalati. So we can start introducing that, right? So I have still just 2 copies left of the book. So those who are interested can get the book. It's very interesting, it's very inspiring actually. Once you know the truth, you're much more weaponed, motivated. And the second part comes after a few months. It's called Creating a Culture of Satisfaction to Heal the World. I have a desire to make this a bestseller, millions of copies, like Harry Potter and more. I don't know how, but I am a strong desire. I don't know. I want to help Prabhu. I'm acting as an assistant secretary for him to get the translations going in different languages. Even Chinese is on the way. It's a good idea. Huh?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
illustrated Gita. Gita at the moment sometimes is too philosophical for most people. I'm not philosophical to act on it. So they tend to, okay, it's something far away from my life. But this is same Bhagavad Gita, illustrated on the economic concept, which is more than ever controlling the lifestyle of the people. 90% is economics. Even the family life is subservient to that. The political life is subservient to that. The social life is only commerce. It didn't used to be like this. Political life was separate, philosophical life was separate, family life was separate, and on the way we do some economics. Now everything is swallowed up by the economic concept, which is actually, it's not, I don't call it economics, it's greed. What means economics? Tell me. Tell me. Last. And small bhajan maybe. That's good. Or japa.
How much is the book?
Book is only €17. It's helping for taking the turn. Take a turn. But more copies are coming on Monday. 50 copies, and you can read them also. Distribute with your friends. But what is economics?
Economics is a way how to maintain the household in the house.
Yes. That comes from the Greek word economics. And what is how to maintain the household? My family members should have food. I would say the economics is food. If you don't have food, where is your economics? All these luxuries are extra things, isn't it? Food, clothes, 4 walls. And to build a natural wall, I'm going to build myself before. I'm still not so young anymore. I want to build my own house with windows and a roof like this with the palm trees and first class. And it's very cheap. It costs 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees. Not bad, huh?
Nothing will happen now, 5 to 10,000 rupees.
Sorry?
Nothing will happen in India at the moment, the 5 to 10,000 rupees.
In the city it's not, but in the countryside, I'm living in Tirupati. We are doing the last 10 years. We're doing a Saturday every time a village program. And the last 10, now there are hundreds of devotees, mostly Jayapataka Maharaj disciples, 16 rounds, and some of them are my good friends. And they were explaining, we used to, I don't know now, when there is in the village of 200 houses, 300 houses, somebody marry, then 10 families, they build the house for the new married couple. They give them land, 2 cows, not 2 laptops. So we're going to reintroduce the system through our Bhakti Vrikshas. So those who are very exemplary members, they get 2, what? Laptops. Oh, sorry, cows. That is good?
Get a laptop, 1 laptop.
That is good. Hey, we're going to see on Monday one Irish devotee, Gonitai Prabhu. He has 30 acres and 4 cows. And how many cows you have? Tell me.
Maybe 10.
No, on the wall, on the paper. we can do that. We can start that. In Germany also, I came from Germany. There's one boy, a young family. His wife is from Chile, and a nice child. So red, cheeky things because they have 7 cows. Because they're always in there. They took it, and the TV is coming. And it's already quite possible. We came with a bus, so much green land and so many cows. We have to start somewhere. Krishna is going to show us. We end with small bhajan. That's good. It said a heavy message should always end with a fresh, positive hope. And there is nothing more hopeful than Harinam Sankirtanam ki. Kalerdosa nide rajam. Kalerdosa nide rajam. Shortcut. Mahadguna Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Meaning, in this Kali Yuga is an ocean of mistakes, politically, socially, economically, anything, philosophically. But there is one good quality, not 2. One good quality. What is that? What is the good quality? The Sri Krishna Nama Sankirtan. So let's take this holy name as our life and soul.